Welcome everybody, my name is Wendy and you are watching Wendy Makes Art on Twitch and Wendy on Fine Art on YouTube. Tonight we are streaming live and we are going to test out this little stocking stuffer that I got in my stocking for Christmas. My daughter loaded my stocking with art supplies and this is the third tiny set that we're testing out. And this one has 12 pans of watercolor, a fabulous mixing area right here, and then all the paper. So really all you need is a pencil or brush and you have everything ready to go with lots of painting. So we're going to see how this works, how well it paints, and comparatively we'll test some colors out because I'm limited to 12 colors. Next week's is going to be even tougher because we're moving down to 6. So it would be the same format, only bigger pans, and you can fit 6 colors. So I'm super excited to try this. I hope you have fun tonight watching. Thanks for joining and tuning in. Feel free to ask questions in chat. I am absolutely ridiculously horrible about paying attention. So be patient with me or ask it again or say, hey, Lebowski's on here moderating. Say, hey, can you help out and try to get her attention? Because I'm terrible. So we are going to broadcast. We're going to load this all up, test out some colors, swatch, add them to my color chart. And let me move these over here so you can kind of see what all we've got to pick from. And we're going to narrow it down. So we're going to do some swatching and then some narrowing down. I can't even get them all on screen. There's so many up here. So the first ones are just going to be a fun surprise. And we'll kind of go from there. All right, so filling this up, picking 12. But first we swatch. So I grabbed just a black pen. Whenever you do this, you want to find something that is water resistant. And first I need to do a sound check. Can everybody hear me? Yes, no, let me know if you can't hear me. It looks like it's reading my mic, but that doesn't mean it is. Sometimes I do weird things. So I'm looking for a thumbs up for sound. Or somebody dropping in and saying if it's okay for sound. Just let me know. In the meantime, I will just continue to move on until I hear somebody. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. So I see some people are on. Just let me know and we'll go from there. I was talking a minute ago about, yes, I did start early and I'm sorry because I thought I'm going to sit here and paint. So I might as well start and no one's really going to miss anything because I'm swatching, which is very satisfying. If you guys have a bunch of colors you want to swatch, grab your colors and a watercolor pad and start swatching. So couple new things that I thought would pair well with this mini notebook. This is really cool. So I've been seeing people use a sweatband when they paint and that way they can just dry their paintbrush on their arm and not have to have an extra paper towel. So we're going to try this tonight and see how it works. I'm super excited. I didn't even know they made these things. I thought I'd have to go back to retro 80s, find something or make my own. But no, they actually make sweatbands still. Couldn't believe it. How fun. Lebowski, I know there's no pay in moderation, but think about all the great art tips you're learning. You just got to bear with me. Okay, second thing, Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. Any pen will work if you've got a fine point Sharpie because, a normal point Sharpie, like the bullet, I'm not sure what it's called. Anyway, they're a little thick to write with, but this one is water resistant. I tried this Accurate early and then put some water on it, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but not waterproof. And of course I had taped a color band on it so I couldn't read that it was not color proof. So, well, this is a great little tip for if you're teaching or sharing your stuff and you want it back and to kind of declare at a glance it's yours, that's great. You are really gonna be at a loss when you need to know if it's waterproof or not. Okay? We're gonna come back to this notebook, but we're just gonna swatch at first. Some of these colors I have in my book, some of them are a new one because there was this great big sale last year and I bought a whole bunch of colors that I thought I'd want because I was so excited. Okay, so I'm gonna write some numbers and we're just going to swatch underneath them, and then we'll just make rows because we've got to pick from these once we swatch. And I'll tell you what they are. These are Sennelier French artist watercolors. These are professional grade. And I'm just going to make a row. Now, those of you who know me, I will rarely have a green in my palette. So I thought this would be a lot of fun to have a green or two in this palette because that is so not me. I think I'll put 341 next. So let's switch some of these, and then if I need to add them onto my chart here, I'll add them. Some of these I don't, and I don't know what's dinging, but thank you guys for following. Thanks for joining or coming in to the stream. So I hope you get something exciting out of this, or at least feel like you want to paint or swatch your colors at the very least. It's so fun. Okay, 501 I have. 517 I do not have. And 517 is called Indian Yellow. So I'm just going to write it in here. This pen is a little big. Okay, 257 is Gold Ochre. I do have that in my list. 645 is Chinese Orange, and I have that one. 871 I have. 805. This one is called Phthalo Green Light. PG Light. I'm just going to put PG Light. I'll know what it is because of the number. 837 I have. And like I said, I very rarely buy greens. So this one is 819. And it is sap green. And then the next one is 341. And I don't have it. And it is turquoise de phthalo. Mineral, hold on, let's see what the American, phthalo turquoise. P-Turk. We're going to write because we have to shorten it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to put a dab of each of these colors underneath the names. And some of them may need burped, which I don't want to put on my sleeve. What that means is it has separated in the tube. So I don't want that on everything. And I'm just going to kind of get that stuff out of there. And we'll warn you guys, Pogo is ramping up. She has been up sleeping all day. And I see her over there staring at me with her sleepy eyes, thinking about how she is going to jump up here. And I'm afraid I'm getting sick, so. Okay, the dinging is to let you know a chat. Oh, it's finally posted. Yay! Lebowski, did you fix that chatting thing? That's going to get annoying for all of you, but I'll keep looking up. Ding equals new chat message. For those of you who have watched this before, you're fully aware that I am the worst at following chat. So I'm going to try to get this to go back in the tube. It is a very full tube and not very happy about going back down there. Okay, 257. Ooh, this is exciting, guys. I love putting all these colors out on things. Okay, 645 is Chinese Orange. Put that on there. 871. And I have to figure out a way. I think I'm going to need 3 rows, so I really have to be careful. This one has separation. So remember I said I burp it? I just want to touch that stuff and get the worst of it off. And then put it back in there. Okay, 805. Now that worked. Did you guys see me tap that? If I were smart, I'd tap them all the time. And then it helps like drop the pigment down away from the lip. So let's try this one. We're gonna tap it and then open it and hope for the best. Yep, that worked. Oh, wait, I should do that before I put the lid on too. And bring it back down. 819 sap green, let's tap it. Oh, you're funny, Lebowski. You know, I just did an update on my Mac, and I'm wondering if that fixed it. It could have. Update equals weird things that we can't figure out how to make work sometimes work. That's what I'm going to credit it to. I'm really excited about phthalo turquoise. Uh-oh. I missed one. I did something wrong. Oh, I have 2 819s. There's what I did wrong. So this one is 341. Okay, and then this one is 843. And you guys will get to see the difference. I usually have on all my palettes a turquoise. However, it's opaque. It's not a transparent watercolor. And I believe that I can create that with the phthalo turquoise and white. But then I'd have to have white on my palette. Do I really want white on my palette? Yeah. My watercolor? Probably not. Oh, the wrap on my wrist? As much as I'd love to be working out, because you know I'm just like a workout person at heart, or at least I'm trying to be in my mind to psych myself up to work out, this is to wipe my brush on. Now, there's such a mess going on here. I don't think I'm going to wipe my brush on it right away, because then we're going to have a big mess. But in a little while, you'll see me wipe my brush on it. But for now, we have messes to deal with. So we're just going to brush these out and see what happens. Okay, so 501 is a beautiful lemon yellow, okay? And this is a color that I typically will have, admittedly, in all my palettes. So I'm just going to leave that extra sitting up there. And like I said, I'm not going to use the wristband, even though I'm really cool. And no, I'm not injured. And I got to put some on this too, wherever I fill these in. So I know in my master list that I have these colors. I use these books for a couple things. When I'm starting a piece and I want a limited palette, or if I'm looking to compare certain colors, I'll go through them to find and pull colors without having to swatch everything. It's really handy. And I can compare by brand, like this is my My Mary Blue. So I can go, do I like this Cad Yellow Deep more than this? It may not look like much of a difference. Oh, this is Indian Yellow, sorry. So it isn't, but here's their Indian Yellow down here, and that's a big difference between the Sennelier and this Indian Yellow. So things like that, when you're making a limited palette, it's very helpful to have a master swatch book. It also helps me know what I have if I want to try a new color. I don't want duplicates if I still have stock, and then I keep a sticky note and I say, you know, replace this on the sticky note when I run out. And that way, if I take this when I'm shopping, I know what I have. Okay, so 257. That is lovely. That is gold ochre. And I have it in my book over here. We're going to wipe that off. 519 is your favorite color. I don't even have 519 on here. Are you just being funny? You're making your own color up? They probably have a 519. Now look at this one. This one's called Chinese Orange. Look how beautiful that is. It's a lot like an oranger burnt sienna. In fact, if you added just a little bit of blue, it would look pretty much like burnt sienna. But that is Chinese Orange right there. Guys, I have to say, this is like the funnest thing ever. It's swatching colors, but oh my goodness, it's so fun. Like all the potential. This is 871, and 871 is bright yellow green. So this is a really good base green. When I teach like intro to watercolor, I will usually have this on their palette because you can warm this up, you can make it darker, and it gives you a really good starting green without having to completely start your own green. Okay, now this is a brand new color for me. I've never used it, and it is called, it's 805 is the number, and it is Phthalo Green Light. And I would not have guessed this as a phthalo. And I'm wondering if there's some white in it, because usually a phthalo is like really dark and really rich and staining. And so I would not have guessed this as a phthalo. Now, if I look at the pigment color, and if you guys have ever done this, it has PG7, Pigment Green 7. Oh, it has yellow in it. Pigment Yellow 153. So you can find if it is a one pigment color or multiples, and what pigment they use to make that color. That's a very helpful tool, especially if you're trying to get something similar between brands. It's a lot easier to look at the pigment number than it is the name. Okay. Phthalo means phthalocyanin, and Lebowski, as moderator for your unpaid job, you can look up what phthalocyanin is and let everybody know. It's spelled with a P, so it's PHTALO. I know they stain. And 837 is Viridian. Look at that. Woo. And I had that in my stash, but I don't use it very often. If I were to use this, I would mix it. In fact, I mix most everything. These are watercolors, and we're going to fill, for those of you jumping on who didn't see the beginning, we're still working on filling those stocking stuffers that I got. This is this little 3x3 inch painting notebook. It comes with, how many sheets are in here? I cannot read that. I want to say it's 40 some. I can't remember, but look. So check this out. It has all this watercolor paper in here, like that. And then it has a palette that is covered, and it's right inside this kit. So if you're traveling on a plane and want to do little mini art, this is a great kit. This week we're picking 12 colors to put in this set. Next week I have the last stocking stuffer, which has 6 colors in the set. But I'm excited to try this and fill it up. So we're going to fill it with Sennelier, and we're swatching watercolors for this kit, which is pretty exciting. Some of these colors are new. I had a moment of weakness during an art sale where there were all these Sennelier colors, and they were like incredibly, couldn't pass it up pricing. And so I bought them. I thought I'm adding them. Okay. There's that one. Now this is my new one, and this is the one that I said I'm thinking I should replace my opaque one, which I'll swatch here in a second, with this 341 turquoise. Now this is phthalo turquoise. So it gets really rich and really dark, but look how beautiful and transparent it is when it's thinned out. And that gorgeous, there's no white in that. Okay, so I'm thinking this is a great replacement for my palettes where I used 843, and 843 is turquoise green, and it has pigment PG50, which I would think there's white in this. So let's take a look. I didn't think it was transparent, but I'm gonna need clean water too. So my water is tinged green. In fact, okay, a highly toxic chemical of, oh, you are terrible. That is not funny. Now you have to tell everybody that you made that up, Funny Lebowski, because that was not funny. Okay. You guys ready? Oh, I just got paint all over me. Yes, I did. I'm going to switch back to this other brush. I should have been using this one all along. I was looking for it. Okay, there isn't white in this. And look at that. Is that not beautiful? I can't really get that with 341. So I still love 843, guys. 341's a nice mixing color, but 843, that is my go-to, this turquoise. And it mixes, plus it's this beautiful color. I think 843 Go West is totally perfect. You guys are hilarious. Okay, the wrist thing, I am not injured, okay? So check this out. This is a sweatband. And when we're traveling Go West and we don't want a paper towel floating around while we're doing tiny watercolors with our little teeny tiny 3x3 inch sets, we're gonna use our 1980s wristband. And we're going to say, oh, wait, I want a little bit of this color, but I need to clean my brush. So I'm going to clean it on here. And if I thought I was wigging you guys out before, this is really going to wig you out to see color on my wrist. So once it's all stained up, I think everybody will realize I'm not injured. So we'll keep trying to stain it so that you don't think I'm hurt. Isn't that cool? But I've been seeing people with these and I was like, I've got to try this. It is a little tight. I mean, this wristband is tight. So, you know, I would go for a less tight one, but I think that defeats the point. I didn't know they made these and that you can get them, but you can. I was going to have to order terry cloth or something and make my own. So I'm super glad I didn't have to make my own because that's a whole step I don't want to do. Okay. That's our first row to pick from. Now remember, we only can pick 12. So think about it while we go on and start to put more colors down. All right? On what are we going to use? Okay. I'm trying to put these in order so that they make a little more sense as we do this. Okay. So next row, because we're going to have 3 rows of these, and oops, I've got, that's going to contaminate everything. And of course, it's a phthalo, right? Because that's what phthalo does. Phthalo gets on everything. And before you know it, everything is phthalo. Oh, there you go. Terry cloth shirt and just wipe it on the terry cloth shirt. You're funny tonight. Okay, we're going to do 302, which is cerulean blue, 344, 309, which is cobalt deep, 315, which is ultramarine deep, 395, which is blue indanthrene, 308, which is indigo. I love indigo. 690. This one is rose. Rose Madder Lake. Ooh, that's exciting. 671. Helios Purple. Which I use a lot. 680. Permanent Magenta. And 913, which is Cobalt Violet Deep U. So let me take a look at what we've got in here. I have 302, cerulean blue. 344 is a new one. So I'm really excited about this Cisneros blue. So 344 Cisneros blue. And then 309 I don't have. And that's Cobalt Deep. 315 I do have ultramarine blue deep. And 395, this is a new one too. This blue indanthrene. So 395 indanthrene. And 308 I have and love. 690 is a new color. And that is Rose Madder Lake. And then 671 I use all the time. 680 is a new color for me, Permanent Magenta. Oh, they are Greek gods. Don't you know that? Artists think of paints as Greek gods. 680, Permanent Magenta. And 913 is a new one too. This Cobalt Violet Deep U. It's so much of a name I have to go down below. So we're going to put these out just like we did the other ones. So cerulean, even though we know what this looks like, we want to see it in a set so that we can narrow this down, and you guys are going to help me pick 12 colors. And I forgot to tap it. So we're going to go back to tapping. Tap it to keep it away from, let it settle down in the tube. Then open it. That worked. Put a little bit out. Ooh, I'm excited about that color. Tap it again and then lid on. Same with this one. 309, we're going to tap it. This is Cobalt Deep. Oop, it's got a little bit of stuff coming out. Not much, just a little. Of course, I have such a mess right there from the phthalo. Okay, I thought I was going to have to use my teeth, but I didn't. 315 is my usual ultramarine, although that did have a lot of binder that came out. So we're going to lift that binder off right there. 395. Now I'm really excited about this one. If one can get excited about colors. Those of you who are not artists, I apologize. This one is indigo, one of my favorites. And I needed my teeth to open it. And it'll be interesting to see. I can see from here that this leans more magenta, the 395. So this will be fun to swatch and see the difference between them. 690. Ooh, that's nice. Rose Madder Lake. 671. Helios Purple. And that guy is just dying to come out of the tube. It was all bubbly. We'll have quite a bit left on that page. Okay, and then this one I think is a new one. Permanent Magenta. So many new colors. It's kind of exciting. Some refills for things that I use all the time. And I have many more colors. I just, well, not many more, but enough that I had to rein it in at some point. So this is me reining it in. Okay, let's do this. You ready? So fun. Okay, 302 Cerulean Blue. Gorgeous sky color. Really a good foundation kind of color that you really always need if you're painting landscapes. Look how pretty that is. Now I'm not yet going to use my wrist. It's just too much paint going on. 344. This one is called, is it Cisneros or Cineros? C-I-N-E-R, Cinereus? It might be Cinereus blue, which I think is a name for sky. Now this is kind of interesting. It's bright, 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 way brighter than the cerulean. And the nice thing about that is sometimes you have this bright sky, plus you could calm it down. You can add a little bit of yellow, you could add a little bit of red, whatever you wanted to add. Add some earth color to kind of calm it down. So this is a very interesting color, this 344. I don't think it granulates. The cerulean granulates really nicely, and I don't see as much granulation in 344. 309. First, I need some onto here. So let's put some over here. Cobalt Deep, which is lovely. So we're going to have that on there. Your favorite colors can beat up my favorite colors. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. And I think it granulates. I can kind of see some movement with the pigments in the water already. So that'll be interesting to see this dry out. Okay. 315 I have on my, it's a staple. This is ultramarine, and look how bright that is. Wowzer. Great color. Can you imagine how much color I'd have on my wrist if I was doing this on my wrist? I think way too much. Okay. I need a new paper towel. Look at this. I dropped water down there. And I have some grubblies. Okay, 395. This one's exciting. This one is blue in Dan. Do I say that about every color? This one's so exciting. I think I do. Yeah, all of these pro colors are amazing. I agree. Like, you can just see the pigment in this. I've got this little dot of color, and there's so much color in it. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, I love this color. 395. This blue indanthrone. It's kind of like phthalo, but not. It's brighter. So if I thin this area down so you can see, I want you guys to be able to see the difference between this one and the next one, which is phthalo. So let me grab a little dot of color. Now the next one is phthalo, and you guys will see the difference. It's almost a little greener, like it's got a little bit of a green to it. Let's see if you guys can see that on screen. Not really well. Let me lift it up. Maybe you can see. There, you can kind of see a little bit of the difference. Close. So you would only pick one of those. And I think that is part of what swatching helps you do, is go, okay, well, which one of these would I prefer to have? If I'm picking between the phthalo at 308 or this new blue indanthrene, I would pick this 395. Yeah, go west. This one is a beautiful color. I need to put a pan for you to test it out and see how much you love it. I'll have to bring that to you. A pan of 395. Okay, this is the Rose Madder Lake, and I have to say it is lovely. That is, like, if you had a rose you needed to paint, that is a gorgeous pink color, and I bet it mixes beautifully. So that is Rose Madder Lake. 671, like I said, I use this color a lot. I mix with it. It too helps me get those bright flowers that you find this color usually in flowers, but you can't mix it. You have to start with that pigment. And it's very purpley. It's a great mixing color. 690 is getting your attention. This one is in Rose Madder Lake, is in your top 3. Well, you can't pick your top yet because there are some good ones coming up. Let's take a look at 680. Now this is a new one for me, and it is Permanent Magenta. And it's lovely, but it's kind of in between some colors, so I don't know that it's going to be on my list. Like, I feel like I can add a little blue to 671 and get 680. But if you wanted a consistent color all the time coming out of a tube, and again, this is a very flowery color, it would be this Permanent Magenta. So I like it. I don't know that I'm going to add it to this set, but we'll know more once we get through this. And 913 is a new one, and I'm liking this one a lot. I think this would be a beautiful addition. It would be great on its own and as a mixing color, and it is 913 Cobalt Violet Deep. And I really like that. I like that more than the Dio Purple. Yeah, if you did a ton of flowers, I could see where it helps you, because you wouldn't have to mix it constantly, or you would have some good bases to mix from to get started. Okay, we've got one more row. This is why I started early. I knew this was going to take a little while. 605. This is Cad Red Light. I do not have this one on my list. And I use Cad Red Light in oil paints, but I did not have it in watercolor in the Sennelier brand. Okay, 675 I have, and that is French Vermilion. And 612 I love. I usually put this on student palettes. It is Scarlet Lake, and it looks like this. So I think you guys are going to like that one. 919 I have Caput Mortem. But we're going to swatch it over here to see if we want it on this palette. 407 Van Dyke Brown. Now, I love Van Dyke Brown in Winsor & Newton. So I'm really curious to see if I like the Sennelier. So this is a new one in Sennelier that I did not have. 202. Those who know me know I love a good raw sienna, raw umber, burnt sienna, and burnt umber. And this is burnt umber, and I do not have it. Burnt umber. And this is a new color to me. This one I saw somewhere, and I thought, I've got to try that. It is 445, and it is brown pink. Okay, and believe it or not, I don't know if I have 443 sepia on here. Yes, I do. Raw sepia, 443, and 707 light gray I do have on here. Okay, so let's do the same thing. We're gonna put these out, tap it. We are doing, there's borrowers. We're doing this little paint notebook, but we have to pick 12 of these colors to put in it. And that's a big decision when you guys are setting a palette. And I wanted you to kind of look at how to set a palette. If you already have colors, you can mix brands if you have a whole bunch, lay them out and take a look at them together and say, you know, I'm making a palette. It's going to have 12 colors in it, and that's it. I'm limited to those. And then you got to test them out and really see what 12 colors are you going to use. Because it's important to really choose wisely. You know, because this little book with those 12 colors, I'll keep filling those unless I find I'm not using something. And then as I paint through this little book, I'm going to fill that up. And it'll be interesting also as I paint to see how much I use for a little painting out of those little wells. Like, will it get 2 paintings? Can we get 2 paintings out of it? Or will it only give me 1 painting reasonably? And then I'm going to run out of colors. I guess it depends on how much color you use. But I think that's an interesting experiment to see with these tiny palettes. And it gives you that, you know, is it worth it? Is it something that you would use on a little trip so that you have it very compact and not have to take much stuff? If you're not going to get much color out of it, then why would you have a great big book? Because you don't want to have to take a bag of colors to fill in there. So like, that's a good point. Would you consider taking the pad, like half of them out? I don't know. Little things like that to think about. Ooh, I'm excited to test this Van Dyke Brown. That one I'm very excited about. Although looking at it, it seems a lot more lighter and kind of muddier brown than the Winsor & Newton Van Dyke Brown. And that's very color nerdy of me. 605 does look promising. I'm excited about 605. Ooh, this one's brown pink, and look at that. It looks green. How can a color named brown pink look green? Who knew? I mean, a car kit, a work kit, a weekend trip kit. You're right. Like, all these kits, I gotta start, like, ooh, that was a lot of paint. Oopsies. Yowza. Well, that's a shame. I've got a palette I'll put it on. Okay. And I don't think I'm going to use 707, but we're going to put it out here. Because it's kind of meh. And it's really messy right now. All this binder is coming out of it. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see what we got. 605. Are you? Oh, you know what? I think we should get some clean water. That's kind of important. All right. Clean water. Here we go. 605. Are you ready, guys? I'm ready. Okay, here we go. We're close to being able to pick these. Now, I want some of this on this palette over here, so we're going to put that over there. It's a little more opaque than Scarlet Lake. I do like it though. So, very close to Scarlet Lake. Scarlet Lake is a little tiny bit oranger than 605 Cad Red Light, but it is a very nice color. Try not to color all of my water with that color. All right, 675 is French Vermilion. It's gonna look almost the same to you guys, but I can tell it's more transparent. So when I put this on here, I can see more of the paper through it than the one to the left. And the Cad Red Light has a little more pink. This is a little orangier and closer to Scarlet Lake. It's very hard for me to tell French Vermilion and Scarlet Lake apart. So in my mind, they're interchangeable. You can use one or the other. They're so close. If I can't tell, then I shouldn't have both of them on the palette in my mind. Okay, and then 612, this one is Scarlet Lake, and you'll be able to see that you can barely tell the difference between Scarlet Lake and French Vermilion. And again, I'm going to lift this up so you can take a look. It's a little teensy tiny bit oranger. I mean, they're so crazy close. I only need one of these guys. So that's a nice elimination for us to start with, is which one we should eliminate. Okay. Now this one I've used, it's like a brown purple kind of color. So the only way I can explain it, could put mortem. We paint dead people. That's what I think of every time I say the name. It has some nice granulation in it. And let's see what this Van Dyke Brown looks like. I gotta put it on here too. Yeah, very opaque. I mean, this thing is not my favorite. Nope. Not my favorite brown. You're a 309 guy? Interesting. 309 is Cobalt Deep, and I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't know. I mean, that is like a true blue Lebowski, but we'll kind of see what you guys vote for. I'll let you fight it out on voting for some of these. I think we do elimination first. like we can go one of these and one of these and like maybe one of these and this one, or I don't know, or these three. I think one of these. So let's start with what we really love. Now this is a new color, burnt umber. Ooh, and I do like that. I will say I like that. Very nice. That's a nice color. I like how it washes down transparently. Ooh, and this one's a new one. I'm excited about this brown pink. Let's see what happens. How do they call it brown pink? Does it really get pink? I don't see any pink in this. It is, I'm not seeing it, guys. I don't know how they're calling that brown pink. I mean, if I mix some in there, maybe. I've got a little bit of pink in my water. I can't see brown pink. It's green to me. It's mossy, like yellow mossy green. Yellow green, pea green. But not even pea green. Yes, between an olive and celery. That is a great comparison. Okay, now I'm going to put some of this sepia on a palette over here. Ooh, look at that. As far as like a dark color, if you needed something to darken things up, oh my goodness, that's nice. So it's a neutral because it's sepia, but look at that. It looks almost black, but it's not. That is a really nice color. And then this last one, which is a gray, light gray, it's called. Okay, you guys close to picking? I'm excited to see what you think. I do like that this leans blue, this light gray. Okay. Yes, it's like a warm black, the sepia. Raw sepia, it's called. So warm black is a really good way to explain it. Okay, let's pick 12 colors. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to, what's the best way to do this? I think just like putting a pencil mark on them would be good. And let me lift this up so you guys can kind of look. So we've got 605, 675, and 612. I love the transparency in Scarlet Lake, but I think 675 French Vermilion is just a tiny bit brighter. So I'm leaning towards 675. Do you have anybody on the 605, 675, or 612? Which one you like the most? Nope. Okay. I'm just going to put a little check mark right beside 675 because I think I need a bright red and then a violet magenta so that I get a warm red and then a purpley red. Okay, so I really love 671. I know that's my go-to, but I also love 690 and 913. So I love all three of those. We only have 12 though. So before we move on, Go West, you're you're invested in the 605. Well, I nixed 605. I'm sorry. It was too late. 675, Go West, excellent. Okay. 707 is kind of like a Payne's Gray, but not really. So purple red, 913 with a sap green. 913. Let's see. Where is 919? 913. Is this something that you have on your palette? Go West. 913. Oh, this one, 913, right here, this purple. I do love this. I think this is new and exciting and haven't used it. So we're definitely going to say 913. Okay, so we're down 2. Okay. I do love both 501 and 517. I think it's important to have those as foundation colors. So I'm picking those, no questions asked, between those. Now this 395 over 308, 501 and 517. Yep, okay, I'm with you, Go West. 501 and 517. Now this is that beautiful new blue indanthrene 395, and I like it better than 308. I would not have both on my palette. 308 is indigo, but I really love 395, and I think that's a beautiful color. So I definitely want to have that as a beautiful dark on my palette, and it's really different. And so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's jump down to these blues and do 2 mandatories. Okay, so I would do either 309 or 315. Now, usually I do 315, but Lebowski, you liked 309, like a true blue. What do you guys think? We just live on the wild side and do a 309? I'm thinking 344 and 309 would be 2 really good different colors to have on this palette. You're not that invested in the blue? Wow. Okay. And then we have these ones too over here, which I'm still leaning towards 843 because I can't get that any other way. And I think we have to have 843. So there's 843. I'm going with, we're going to try this and then we'll erase whatever if we go over. 843 right here. Okay. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 4 more we can pick, guys. All right. I really, I think I have to have, I want both of these, 690 and 671, but that wipes out 2. 690 and 671. What do you guys think? Do you think I can get something close to 671 if I do a touch of 913 and 690? I don't think it's going to be. Let's try it. Let's try it. Sometimes you can try this. So I can take a little bit of the 690. And then I'm going to take a little bit, just a tiny bit. Oh, look at that, guys. That is pretty close to 671. I think we go with 690. And we have 3. Go West, you have 257. I love that. I agree. 257. Now we've got 2 left. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 2 more we can pick. Okay. I almost feel like I'd like something in here, like 341. I think I could get something close to this with the yellow for 341 and get some variety. 805, you're picking this one. Interesting. And 445, oh, the brown pink. That's interesting too, to have brown pink in this palette. Now, I know I can mix that Go West, what would you do? Would you do 341? Because I think 341 would be a powerful mixer. I can mix my greens. I can get this green. But it is a nice base green. $202 brown. This one. Oh, that is a beautiful one. It's a nice brown. That one is burnt umber. And we know me like some burnt. It's nice to have a neutral. Okay, so right now I'm torn. 202. We can pick two of these. 341. Lebowski's voting 805, but I think I can mix it. Or 445, which is really interesting as well. Could I mix it? Probably. I like 202. I do like 202, but I love 341 as well. I'm leaning towards 202 and 341 to help give me some variety. Annie C. Yep, you broke that tie, so 202 is in. No, I don't have a white, and I'm not going to on this palette. Believe it or not. I'm thinking 341. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more. I really think it should be this one. I don't think there's any other way I can lean it towards this land. But I could also take 837 and add... Oh, no, I can't. Not with what I have. I might get close by adding 395 to 837. Let's see. If I take a little bit of 837... Wipe it on my wrist. And a little bit of 308. Close, not quite, but it is kind of close to 341. Look at that. We're getting closer to 341 with 837. Yeah, I'm really not going to put white on this palette. I think it should just be pure color and true to watercolor and more transparent. So I wasn't planning on putting white on here. I could. It gives a lot of variety, but meh. Let me see what the pigment are in 837 versus 341. This is pigment green 18 and pigment green 7. 341 is pigment blue 153 and pigment green 7. Huh, that's interesting. Pigment green. It looks like 18. Yeah, 18. And I don't know what pigment green 18 is. No, nothing. We don't have it in this set. That pure pigment. I don't know what that pure pigment color is. So I would have to do some digging to find out what that color is. Because this one leans bluer. But we've got this. Now, if I gave up this one and we added white to 341, I wonder, don't you love these games? I wonder if we could get close to 843. So what do you guys think? No thoughts on this final 12th color, man. Because I'm wondering if I added 341 and white. Could I eliminate 843? But that's not really what I want to do. Oh, okay, we want to paint tiny things. You are right. We put too much time into this, but I still have to fill the palette. So I haven't even filled the palette yet. I can go over, though, if you want to watch paint tiny things. I know some people have to go to bed. And you're right. This took way too long just to pick the colors, and I'm agonizing. So I'm going to go with my gut. What would I use? What would I use? I don't know. Let's start to fill them, and then we'll come back to that. Okay. Oh, but I want to fill them in order. I'm still thinking. $341 is still on my heart. I still like $341. I'm going with $341. I have to live with this palette, guys. So I'm using $340. Ooh, $837 though. Will I dip into it? Probably not. I know me. Okay. I'm painting. Or I'm filling. I'm filling. So, filling. We need toothpicks. We need vegetable glycerin. And we need the colors. So first, we are going to do 501. 501. And let's see how much color I can get in this thing. Again, I don't want any of that extra stuff. So I'm just going to try to fill this without putting any glycerin in it. And fill it quick. I can fill these up again later. I just want to get these filled so we can paint. Because we want to paint tiny things. You are right, Lebowski. I am messing around. Okay. Plus, I've got some grapefruit in front of me to do a little painting with. May do a pear and an apple so that we can get some reds in there. And yes, I made a mess with this. And I'm going to do this. And wipe that on there. And then dip my finger. And so that you guys know for sure, I am not injured. Look, no injury. Just color. 257. Okay. Oh my goodness. Such a mess. I'm such a messy kid. Paint all over me. Now, 341. And I'm wondering if I should go into my 202. I think I'm going with 202 beside that. Just because it makes more sense to me. These are not easy to fill. They're tiny. Okay, so that was that brown. And from there, I think we're going to go into red. So let's do 675. right. We're cooking with grease now. And now 690. Aren't those pretty all lined up? And now 913. Okay. And now we're going to go into our blues. So I think I'll move to my dark blue. Ooh, you know what? No, I want to keep these darks separated so that I know the difference. And so I'm going to do 344 first. This will help me really see the difference in those colors. Like I'll know since the purple is near the reds because it's so dark, you can't tell sometimes. And I want to be able to know what it is. So if I leave that purple closer to the reds, I'll know. I say that, I'm going to totally forget. 309. And you guys are going to crack up. I didn't even intend to do this. We talked before about how I typically don't have green on my palette. And once again, I don't have green on my palette. 395. The closest I get is 341, which is, it leans blue. So maybe I should change that. I mean, that kind of shows what I do. If I get rid of that one and put 837, it takes me up, I skew a whole different world. So we're gonna live on the wild side and go to 837. Oof, that just made a mess. I'm going to leave that just like it is after I scooch it in here. Because I think I'll just make a bigger mess if I try to clean it up. Okay, and this one I got rid of. And we're doing 837. Okay, we are ready to go. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Finally, we get to paint tiny things. Tiny little things. So let's set ourselves up. I should move some things so you can see what we're doing. And I need to drink some liquid because I don't want to get sick. So let's put my pear maybe right here. Trying to do it so that you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at, even though you can't see what I'm looking at. And he needs to lean against something. He needs something to hold him up because he can't hold up by himself. Here, we'll just give him an apple. There. So that gives me 2 items, and I'll try to just draw them big, and we're gonna go for it. And I'm gonna do part of it, not the whole thing. So I'm gonna do this a little different and kind of put it in the corner here. And so you don't have to paint anything exactly, you know, like I don't have to paint something and fill this sheet with it centered on the sheet. I can do a piece like this and change it up completely. And maybe this has the little round parts coming in here and there. We'll kind of go with that. So that's what we're starting with the two shapes. Now let's try using our wristband and see what happens. And I want to play with the mixing area. Now I just got that on there, so I would have to use the wristband. I don't know if that would be a natural way for me to work or not. I like to, ooh, it's so much water, so much, wow. Okay, so a water brush might be ideal with this kit so that you don't do what I just did. And I don't think I have one up here. So we're just gonna go with what we've got, but that's a good learning thing. And I got water brushes in my art stuff, so it's not like she didn't think of that. She thought of everything, which is awesome. I'm gonna put some yellow in there and clean this off. And really dry this on here. Now these are not taped on all four sides. They're only taped on one side. So just something to keep in mind, those who are a little heavier handed with paint like me. I tend to use a lot of water. And I also tend to contaminate my colors quickly, which is why I should usually have a palette that is dry versus wet like this. Tiny things, painting tiny things. I need a Michael Jackson. The sound or just what you getting at there? You mean because of my wristband? Yeah, next week I'll show up in a zipper jacket. A terry cloth glove, like my whole hand, because I need so much to work with. Okay, let's do a little bit of shadow color. So I'm gonna take that blue and maybe a little tiny bit of the brown. Ugh. Put this in here because that's going to be underneath in shadow. And that's going to get really nice and dark over there. And let's play with some green. So more of this yellow. And I'm not sure what I had up there, but let's kind of see what we've got. Now that may be not quite yellow-green enough. So we're just gonna mix some yellow right on there. I like that. And that kind of color in there. I'm not going to wipe my face. Yeah, as I sweat, because I break out a sweat while I'm painting, right? Is that what you're getting at? You're funny. Okay, let's mix up some more red. Throw some color in here. I do not believe that this is 100% cotton. So you can kind of feel, I feel it sitting on top. It's great for a little sketchbook, but I don't want you guys to have any amazing expectations from this. And I'm mixing whatever's on my palette to kind of just unify the colors. Now this will get a little pinker in here. So that, see, I would have thought that would be like a brown pink, not what we saw as a brown pink. When it dries, I guess I could see that it leans a little bit that way, but man, I am not seeing it. Not sold on that. Okay, now a little bit. In the center of this, where that stem is going to be, right in there, and even maybe a little bit in there. Let's go into our reds. See what we can get for more apple red. They do sit nice and bright. There, and I need like a dark gray, green, neutralize it right in here where this stem is going to be. Still playing with that. And I've got a nice hard edge over here. And I want to make sure it's too wet. Too wet. This right side is not even close to as green as it should be. and as dark. So we're going to take these, and then I think I'm going to take some of this gold ochre. I didn't quite do it. It's too transparent. I grayed it up too much. So, okay, well, let's try this in here. No, not quite right. Cool it down. Let's see what we've got with this now. I'm exaggerating it a bit, but I really like that dark exaggeration on that side. And then I want more turquoise in there. Let's see what happens. And even some more of this to kind of blend it in. Okay, and I just want to use this surface too, kind of see what I can do. A little neutral background behind it. See what we get. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Without adding white, you either have to leave your brights or you're able to pull them out. I'm not able to pull much out of this. I can tell you that. Let's see. I don't think I have a tougher brush up here. This one may do it a little bit, where I can kind of wipe out a color. So this paper is not very forgiving. It really does not like me lifting. Which is why Go West suggested a white, like a white gouache in this. Because then I can cheat, right? If I have white gouache on this, I can completely just add a creamy color where I need a highlight. So definitely a great observation. Things I didn't really dig into, let's see. I tried and played with every color in the top row. I think I didn't use either blue, but I don't have a ton of blue on here, and I was able to work with the greens. I might have pulled some of this guy. Did I use some of this guy? Maybe a little bit, but we can even add a little more over here. And I can use a little more there in there. So even though I can't, if I have some darks, that will make lights seem lighter without having to go lighter, is I can just add more dark. So I can just exaggerate even over here. I can exaggerate on this side more, and that will help. So there you go. Yeah, it looks, everything looks fantastic from a distance, Lebowski. Did I like the wristband? I don't like feeling the water on me, so that's a little weird. I can see where I will make one heck of a mess with it. Just, I know myself. So that could become a problem, maybe. For what it is, I think the paper worked great. There's a little, It looked better from below, right? But not too bad for a quick little demo painting. And I would just soften this a little bit right there. Okay. So there we go. We hardly used any color. I'm gonna have to experiment and see how many little paintings I can make with these colors that are already in here, and debate what would I give up out of this set in order to add white.